Welcome, and bienvenidos. What up, familia? Welcome back to Tech and Tequila, the podcast where tech innovation meets life's boldest adventures. I'm your host, Kat Lopez Shelby, your go-to techie chica, trusted tech advisor, digital nomad, or what I like to call local voyager, and of course, tequila enthusiast. So whether you're here for the latest tech trends in cybersecurity, stories from inspiring leaders like the one we have today, Mr. Jim McNeese, or a new favorite drink with a bold twist, you are in the right place. Today's episode, of course, is extra special because number one, we have Mr. Jim McNeese on, who is absolutely amazing and fabulous. I would say there's not enough wonderful things to say about him, but I could just go on and on. But we're also doing a tech and tasting segment featuring Gorgie, which is we're going to feature the Sparkling Watermelon Splash, but you know, if you haven't ever heard about Jim before, Jim McNeese is the founder of C2Excel, a service-disabled veteran-owned business transforming network and security solutions. And he's also the heart behind McNeese Kids, a nonprofit based in North Texas that is making an incredible impact. So grab your glass, whether that's sparkling water or tequila, and let's dive in. So before we get into the meat and we get to discuss with Mr. Jim all the amazing things he's doing, tech trends, and everything about McNeese Kids, we are going to talk about Gorgie. So if you haven't heard of Gorgie before, that's this right here. And we are going to try the Sparkling Watermelon Splash. So we'll give that bad boy a try. All right, it's exactly what I was expecting, which is basically summer in a can. It's light and crisp, has the perfect pop of watermelon. It's enough that you realize it's watermelon, but not where you're like, is it watermelon? What's going on? I won't name the drink that does that, but I think all these ladies know what I'm talking about when you're like, is it really there? But it's great for if you're poolside, or of course, if you're on a Zoom call or you're on StreamYard like me and Mr. McNeese. But it's not just tasty. Gorgie is powered by green tea caffeine, L-theanine for focus, plus B6 and B12, and biotin for beauty boost, zero sugar, which is important to quite a few people, including myself, non-GMO, vegan, and gluten-free. So it's basically all the good things in a can. Gorgie was founded by Michelle Cordero Grant, who also previously founded the brand Lively. So after selling her company, she set out to build something that puts women at the center of wellness, combining performance, community, and style. So cheers to that, a place where hydration meets innovation. All right, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of the episode, as I like to say. And that is, let me bring on our guest, Jim. Welcome to Tech and Tequila. I've been super excited. I know we've had to reschedule a couple of times, but to have you on here. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I apologize for rescheduling.
You know, in life's busy schedule, it's all good. We've made it here. So to kick things off, what is your favorite tequila or tequila cocktail?
So I'm going to answer both. My favorite tequila is 1942. And the favorite drink cocktail are Meltdowns at Gloria's.
Ooh, I do like Gloria. So you're speaking my language right there. I'll definitely have to try that when I'm there next time. I like to say I'm a little bit of like an oldie but goodie. I'm usually a ranch water girl. So, but I do like to try new things. So, well,
it will not disappoint you.
That's awesome. Let's go ahead and I would say let's talk shop. But you, obviously, you're the founder and owner of a service-disabled, veteran-owned business. How has your military background influenced the way that C2Excel delivers solutions? Like, what do you feel that you bring to the table that your clients may not get elsewhere?
I don't know if they're not getting it elsewhere, but for us, being disciplined, being consistent, and being early for every meeting. It's my pet peeve. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So it sounds silly, but it's a pet peeve of mine, and I try to get everybody in our team to embrace it because it's important. You got to respect someone's time.
I could not agree more. And as you're well aware, I'm married to somebody who's a veteran himself, and he has that very same philosophy of, oh, if you're on time, you're late, you better be there early. So I drive him insane. I'm always on time for my appointments, but sometimes me getting ready for other things takes a little while. So your company focuses on network, I would say hosted voice, but UCaaS and security, which are big areas for all businesses right now, and enterprise, as obviously enterprise, SMBs, and mid-sized companies. How do you customize your approach for, per se, a smaller business versus a more enterprise-sized client?
Our go-to-market plan is the same. If you're small, medium, or large enterprise, we kind of treat them the same. We do a full inventory and audit up front. Um, I feel like we can't consult on their business if we don't know what they have. So a lot of times we'll do the inventory and audit up front, and we'll know the count better than the client does. So I feel like that kind of helps us set us apart.
Do you find when you're doing these inventory and audits that you're working with multiple people within organizations, whether it's small or enterprise size?
Yes, ma'am. But we try to focus, when we're doing the inventory and audit, obviously we're meeting with the executive team, the C-level, trying to figure out business problem, business needs. At the same time, we're working with the back office, accounts payable, to pull the bills, pull the contracts. A lot of times they don't have them. So we're
Mm-hmm.
getting the LOA and kind of doing that legwork for them,
Mm-hmm.
which kind
You
of
know,
provides
mhm.
the most value to the client.
Absolutely. I find it interesting because obviously we do very similar things, but when you go into an account or they switch people within departments and they have no clue, like who our internet's through, who this is through, and I find that that can be universal, whether for small, medium, or large. Do you kind of see some of that as well?
Yes, ma'am. 100%. More than not, for sure.
Well, I'm sure that you're aware of this, but tech evolves super fast. Obviously, we're not going a day without hearing about some kind of new breach that needs to be dealt with or something. How do you guys stay ahead of the curve so that your clients aren't just keeping up, but that they're staying competitive?
We're constantly training getting training from the carriers. And then we lean on our subject matter experts from the TSDs. So that kind of, it's impossible to keep track of all the technology for us. So we lean on the subject matter experts to help us, and we don't just jump out there. We let the technology evolve a little bit before we introduce it to the client.
I think that's some good words of wisdom to follow, is like give it a little time, let it kind of get tried and tested out there. Do you feel like you all are getting a lot of calls these days for companies that say, like, I want AI or I want this, and having those types of conversations with them?
Yes, ma'am. I just did a lunch and learn on a separate UCAS, CCAS, and security, and I sent a survey out and asked them what's on their mind, what do they want to hear about, and sure enough, AI was topic number one.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's a moment that we can go by without hearing the term AI these days, for sure. Definitely. As we're having this discussion with AI, and of course that leads into machine learning, how are you guys integrating AI to elevate network performance and security for your clients?
So again, education is key. We're leveraging the subject matter experts, like I said, for the other technologies. Um, we have brought in, we are leveraging some of it with current clients.
I think that that's one of the big blessings. And I don't think that enough people realize in the trusted technology advisor or with the consulting aspect of IT is really the advantages that, like yourself, CDXL brings to the table, because you do have those subject matter experts, which helps those businesses. I don't want to say not necessarily have one, but have that additional collaboration and team and partnership.
Agreed.
So I know that this all leads into all the technology that we have, like, edge computing as well. As companies move forward with real-time processing and, working on things, what do you see that's helping like lower latencies, and what strategies are you guys implementing with your current clients as well as, clients that you're just starting to work with to make sure that you're finding the best solutions for that?
So, again, we keep talking about it, but leveraging our subject matter experts. And, we've been leveraging IoT lately. So we have some grocery stores, and we put in some IoT devices into the freezer. So it keeps track of the temperature. So that's been a huge ROI for the client, because if not, they were manually checking the temperature of every single freezer. Um, so it's been quite a change for the client, and leveraging the technology that which they didn't believe would help them early on.
I think you just, and I promise if you're taking a shot game, every time I say, I think you just hit the nail on the head, is it's these little bitty tweaks sometimes that when you go in to consult with the customers, something like that, where it keeps the temperature consistent and they're notified if it changes versus having to manually do it. I know another thing that I heard of recently that's kind of the similar vein is, which we of course take for granted, but just the lighting on those refrigeration units is the way to save energy. Is so if someone's not
Yep.
walking by it or opening it, it's not coming on as well.
Yep. Exactly. And also the cameras,
Mm-hmm.
be able to track foot traffic, customer behavior. All that is, changing how businesses do business now.
Exactly. And I think with all these little tweaks and, I was going to say, add to this definitely is that all of these things help with their ROI, their return on investment, because this is helping them to save money and or allotting money to utilize for other improvements. Is there one thing right now that you are seeing customers come to you for more than anything else?
Probably security,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically security on AI, because even, I actually learned that even using these recording on our calls,
Mm-hmm.
we have a couple. I just went brain dead on a couple of them, but the Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my customers told me that they can't use it anymore. We can't record the calls because of security, which, as a consultant, I never really thought about it. So there's little things like that we use every day that we forget that's a security breach, or it could be a security
Mm-hmm.
breach.
Yeah, I think absolutely how far we've come in general with technology, and this is definitely going to age me. So while I was around when dinosaurs roamed the earth in tech, um, I remember, back in the day when I used to work with particular companies that worked with government entities, that they could not have phones that had any kind of camera on them. And you think how far we've gone, because I know when a particular president came into the office, it was a huge deal that he wanted to have his BlackBerry, and no one before had had a BlackBerry. And that, with technology, obviously it's wonderful and great, but it does open you up to so much. And we see that with like AI and notes and the whole kit and caboodle.
Yep.
This might be a little bit of a lane change, but I know you guys work a lot with dial pad. Do you see customers taking advantage of them based on like their AI, or what do you kind of see when you're bringing per se someone like them to the table that customers really like?
Actually, we're working on an account right currently with Dialpad, and that is one of the main reasons why they're pivoting towards Dialpad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're one of the front runners out there right now.
Yeah, we always want tech to bring this, like, we want it to help make you more efficient, but also have ways to help improve customer service. And I think there's lots of different, I was going to say, suppliers or technology that helps to do that in this day and age.
Yeah, and I think they're all of them are rapidly trying to get ahead of it and figure out how is it going to help them, and how are they going to handle it? Again, especially the security side. I think that's the biggest hurdle.
Mhm. Yeah. When you see companies come to you for security needs, is it generally they're wanting you like to do something particular like pen testing, or is it they're wanting you to find out where their gaps are? I mean, which I guess is kind of pen testing, but I'm thinking more like they have a particular need that they're like, we already know this is what we need. Kind of what are you seeing right now?
Honest, unfortunately, I don't want to um, throw anybody under the bus, but clients, they all think they're secure, but as we know, most of them are not. So um, I think they are coming to me. They don't know what they don't know, which is good because you can't help them if they don't have that attitude. So they are open to looking into, where are we vulnerable? Where can we improve? What 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 aren't we looking at? So I see that more than not.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that is really, I have a client that says the same thing. Like, I bring you guys in because I don't know what I don't know. This is what I think I know. And I think we've seen that, obviously with, I would say we can't go a day, but let's say a week. We'll be generous right now with everybody. We can't go a week without hearing about another type of breach, hack, something happening. And there are these huge companies. So, what advice do you give to your clients? When they come in for the cybersecurity discussion? I know you said earlier you do the audits and you go over everything, but what is kind of like your advice when you start that discussion with them?
Well, if the DoD can get hacked, literally, that's all I say. If the DoD can get hacked, why can't you? So again, and why wouldn't you? There's so many companies out there that'll do a free assessment. They'll show you where your vulnerabilities are. Why wouldn't you take
Mhm.
advantage of it? You know what I'm saying? It's ego. A lot of the times with the ego. I got this. I don't want my boss to figure out that we haven't been secured for 2 years. Well, it could be the
Mhm.
difference of saving the company as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I always say this. I have a company that was just sure. Obviously, they were a little iffy, let's be very honest, on their cybersecurity stack, but they were sure, like, even if that happens, we've got everything backed up. But lo and behold, something happened and discovered they didn't have a full, clean backup from, 2 days ago, not just 2 days ago, but it was like almost 2 years, and they couldn't lose that level of information. So, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's what I tell everybody. Do you even have a BCDR in place? And if they do, when's the last time you tested it?
Mhm.
Yeah, we have backup tapes, but have you tested them?
Mhm.
And they still do have backup tapes, which
Mhm.
is aging us as well.
Yeah.
So
I know. I was just thinking the other night because this is really going to age me, but I grew up, we used to have a rotary phone in our house. And
Mhm.
I was thinking, like, I bet I could put that in front of one of my kids and they would be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I don't get this.
Yep. Or a
But yeah.
payphone.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I
still a lot of
know.
payphones. We just got back from London, and there are payphones everywhere. And there was lines of people taking pictures in front of the the payphones. It was entertaining.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I'm from West Texas, and I kid you not, I think up until probably like a year and a half ago, there was still like one payphone that was in front of the gas station at one of the HEBs, and it would crack me up. Periodically, I'd take pictures and be like, "Yep, it's still here, guys. They still exist."
But does it work?
That I never tried it, so I would not know with that. Oh my goodness. Now, I know that C2Excel is, obviously, I would say that is important to you, but I know one of the things that is really on your heart, and I would say your heart and soul, and that is your nonprofit, McNeese Kids. So, can you kind of tell me what inspired you to start that nonprofit and how has the mission evolved for you with that?
So it started back, probably 17, 18 years ago. The just the discussion. I was talking to my boys, and I think we're at a dinner table, and they were 4 and 5 at the time. I just said, hey, I want to start a charity one of these days and to help kids in need. And obviously they don't understand what I'm talking about. And like there's kids that they're not getting food, they don't have a place to stay, they're abused, they're neglected, and I just want to help one day. So we actually, that's the day we did the logo. So we did the heart for love and the cross for faith-based. I always wanted to be a faith-based charity. And then they said, can we do our handprints? So literally each of those are the boys' handprints. And we did that from scratch that day. So that was the beginning of the logo. And then obviously being single dad, didn't have the time, the money, the effort. So kind of put it on the back burner. And then this is our 5th year. So started, it's time to do it if we're ever going to do it. So once a year we do a charity golf tournament, and that's where 99% of the money's raised. And thank you, by the way. You've always been a great supporter each and every year. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
No, I love it. I love you guys' mission. It's near and dear to my heart. I used to be a big part of a charity in West Texas called Food to Kids. It was enveloped under the West Texas Food Bank, but what it did was they created lunches for kids who otherwise might not eat on the weekends. And so, I mean,
yes,
it's that thought that you were talking about, like someone going without.
It's heartbreaking. So over the last 4 years, we were able to raise close to $650,000 just on that golf tournament every year. So we're very grateful for all the sponsors and all the donors.
Well, that is amazing. And I absolutely love that. Can you tell us a little more about, I saw that you have the Kids Promise campaign. How does that go into your vision and what exactly does that support?
So there's actually 3 charities that 100% of the proceeds go to. It's Samaritan Inn, which is for homeless. North Texas Food Bank is for hunger, supplying food. And the last one is abuse and neglect and trafficking children. And that's with Jonathan's Place. So Jonathan's Place just purchased or was able to take over another charity recently. And they had abandoned, I would say, building/warehouse. So they allowed us to come in and totally take everything out, clean it up, paint it. And that was the Kids Promise, the project, where we went in. We had littles, did a little for little kids. We had a area for reading. We had an area for put up a couple TVs for video games. We had an area for computers because the ages are, from birth all the way to late teens. So they're looking for jobs. They're looking for updating their resumes. So we did a bunch of little sections. So when the kids get out of school, they can go relax and kind of have some normalcy about their day. Or if they're looking to get a job, update their resume, they have that facility there.
That's awesome. I know you named the places that you're supporting, but what goes into when you decide like, hey, we want to donate towards this organization? Like what leads you in that decision-making process?
So since day one, there was 3 pillars that we wanted to focus on. We feel like those are the 3, homeless, abuse and neglect and trafficking and hunger are the 3 critical pillars. So each year we rotate. The top one gets, I think 55% of the proceeds, and then the other 2 split the difference or the rest of the money. So, and we rotate that every year. And then there's still other projects that come up throughout the year that we raise money for. And this was a project that the CEO of Jonathan's Place, Alicia, came to us and said, hey, are you guys able to help with this? So we put together, I think there's 25 people that came out, cleaned, painted, moved furniture, and did the whole project with us.
That's awesome, and amazing. So if somebody wanted to help McNeese Kids or volunteer their time or any of the above, where would you recommend? Like, where can they go to sign up or find out more information about that?
They go to our website, McNeeseKids.com, and there's a place that they can volunteer or send us a message and tell us what they're interested in helping with. Or there's this place on the website for donations if they like to give financially.
Now, I know that you said you guys do one big event a year, like the golf tournament. So is that coming? I guess, do you have an idea when that's coming up, or is that something that people should just start looking for?
It's usually in September timeframe.
Cool.
We're
I
trying to
love
nail
it.
down the exact days.
I'd say those days can be difficult these days, man.
I know.
Yeah. So first and foremost, Jim, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story and talking about everything that you do with C to Excel and, of course, McNeese Kids. It's amazing that you cover both business and nonprofit with what you do. I would say it's not that common to see someone bridge tech and community the way that you're doing it. Before we wrap up, for anyone who wants to connect with you, learn more about C to Excel, or get involved with McNeese Kids, where should they go to find that, see that, all of the things? Tell us, your LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever is your preference.
They can probably go to our website of either company, c2excel.com or mcneesekids.com.
We will absolutely put all that information in the notes for anybody listening. But if you had one last word of advice to give somebody that is a business owner or something, what is your recommendation to help set them up for success in this day and age?
Don't give up. Just keep grinding. It's not easy. It's not. It's hard. It took me 3 years to get off the ground. I've done it a couple times, and it takes a little bit of time, but there's nothing better than betting on yourself.
I could not think of better words of advice there. Just keep grinding, put one foot in front of the other. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on today. I'm sure that I will see you in real life in the near future, and I look forward to finding out the date of the McNeese Kids Golf Tournament and just seeing everything that you have to do. And for all our listeners, I will share all of his links below. And thank you so much, Jim, for being on. I really appreciate what you do and that, you lead with impact and innovation. So, of course, I would be remiss if I don't tell you, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe, leave us a review. And if there's someone you want to have us interview, leave their information below. Thank you so much, Jim, for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kat. I appreciate you having me, and congratulations on all your success. I love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Salute.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Tech and Tequila. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. To stay updated about all things tech and more, don't forget to visit us at our website, shelbyts.com. If you loved what you heard, remember to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our podcast. Your 5-star ratings and reviews mean the world to us and help us to reach more listeners just like you. So muchas gracias again for joining us with Tech and Tequila. Thank you so much. You learned a lot about tech, and maybe you had a nice drink of tequila.